Welcome back to the Midnight Library, where the noise of the day fades and your journey inward begins. Tonight we open a gentle, heartfelt guidebook, More Than Two by Franklin Veaux and Rickert. This thoughtful, deeply personal work explores ethical polyamory, not as a rule book, but as a philosophy of love grounded in consent, communication, and compassion. If you're new here, welcome. The Midnight Library transforms the world's most fascinating books on personal development, relationships, philosophy, politics, and beyond into calming bedtime stories for subconscious learning and soft reflection. If you're returning, thank you for bringing your presence back into this space. As you get comfortable and settle into stillness, know that this story is not about persuasion or ideology, but about possibility, about love with integrity. Let's step softly into tonight's story together. Chapter 1. What is ethical polyamory? Polyamory at its root is about loving more than one person openly and honestly. But More Than Two makes it clear. Ethical polyamory isn't just about multiple partners. It's about doing relationships well, with deep care and respect for each person involved. Franklin and Eve explain that polyamory isn't an alternative to commitment. It's a commitment multiplied. The authors emphasize that it isn't for everyone, but it can be a path to building connection with extraordinary intentionality. What makes it ethical is not the number of people involved, but the agreements, honesty, and mutual care between them. Love isn't scarce, they remind us, but time, attention, and energy are. Polyamory asks us to navigate this with maturity and accountability. Just like monogamy requires reflection and effort, so does ethical polyamory. It's not about avoiding hard conversations, it's about becoming skilled at having them. Chapter 2. Foundations of a Healthy Polyamorous Life. To practice ethical polyamory well, the authors stress 3 foundational tools: consent, communication, and self-awareness. Consent in this context isn't just about saying yes or no. It's ongoing, informed, and grounded in genuine choice. It's about respecting everyone's autonomy, including your own. Communication is the second pillar. It's not just about speaking clearly, but listening deeply. Being willing to hear hard things. Practicing transparency. Ethical polyamory is built on the idea that relationships flourish when truth is shared freely, not hoarded or hidden. The third foundation, self-awareness, is perhaps the most challenging. This means understanding your own triggers, fears, and needs. Knowing what stories you tell yourself. Realizing that jealousy, for instance, isn't a flaw, it's a signal, and if you listen to it, you may uncover deeper truths about what you need to feel secure. The authors offer many practical tools. Check-ins, relationship agreements, and reflective journaling are just a few, but none of them matter without empathy. Empathy makes space, it softens, it opens doors when defensiveness wants to slam them shut. Chapter 3. Jealousy, Insecurity, and Growth. Jealousy is one of the most misunderstood emotions in polyamory, and one of the most common. Franklin and Eve don't treat it as a flaw to eliminate, but as a teacher to learn from. They invite readers to view jealousy not as a monster under the bed, but as a signal, an emotional compass pointing toward unmet needs or hidden fears. Are you feeling excluded? Afraid of being replaced? Longing for reassurance? These are questions jealousy can help you ask. Instead of reacting impulsively or demanding changes in your partner's behaviour, the authors suggest leaning into curiosity. Share your feelings, yes, but also take responsibility for them. Your feelings are valid, and you're also capable of managing them with care. With practice, they say, many people find that jealousy gives way to a deeper sense of compersion, the joy of seeing someone you love also feeling joy. It doesn't always come naturally, but with effort, it can grow. Ultimately, growth in polyamory is less about having perfect feelings and more about cultivating emotional resilience. The ability to say, I feel scared, and I will still act with love. Chapter 4. Autonomy, Boundaries, and Relationship Design. One of the most liberating ideas in More Than Two is the rejection of a one-size-fits-all model for relationships. The authors ask, what if you could design your relationships rather than inherit them? That means getting clear about what autonomy looks like. Each partner is seen as a whole person with their own agency, not someone to be controlled, but someone to be understood. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are guidelines to protect our well-being. The book encourages people to write their own relationship agreements, Not contracts in the legal sense, but understandings built on shared values and negotiated needs. This includes everything from how much time you spend together, to how you communicate, to how new relationships are welcomed. Rather than placing hierarchy, like primary versus secondary relationships, as a default, the authors invite us to ask, what does each connection need to thrive? Every relationship can be designed consciously. At the heart of this is agency. You get to choose the life you live and how you love. And when all parties are empowered, relationships become spaces of support, not control. Chapter 5. Love as a practice, not a destination. In the closing chapters, Franklin and Eve circle back to the core idea. Love is not something you fall into, it is something you do, something you build moment by moment with consistency, care and presence. Ethical polyamory, like any meaningful relationship, asks us to grow up, show up and stay open. Not perfectly, not all at once, but with a willingness to try. This doesn't mean you have to be polyamorous. The lessons in more than two are applicable to all kinds of love, friendships, co-parenting, chosen families. What matters is the intention to be kind, honest and brave. As you drift now into sleep, know that love, real love, is not about finding the right structure. It's about nurturing the right spirit. You're worthy of love that sees you, that frees you, that grows with you. You're more than one story, and you can be more than two. Outro. Thank you for joining us tonight in the Midnight Library. As always, we invite you to share where you're listening from, and let us know what book you'd like to hear next. Each episode is crafted to bring not just knowledge, but comfort and spaciousness to your night. Until next time, good night and sweet dreams.